It is day one of my Prolon fast, so I thought we could do a quick unboxing video and I'll show you everything that I've got to eat today. So let's go ahead and jump on in here. So starting out with our soups for the day, I've got the carrot and ginger soup mix, as well as the red bell pepper and onion soup mix. I've not gotten to try these flavors before. These are from their new Gen 3 line of flavors. I've only ever tried the original, so I'm really excited to give these a shot. The flavors sounded pretty good, so I'm excited to see if we like these. Next up, I've got our supplements for the day. So I've got 2 packets of our omega-3 supplement. This is an algal oil supplement, so we'll take two packets of those, as well as a vitamin and mineral supplement. We've got 2 packets of those as well. So we'll take all of that today. We've also got our tea in here. So we've got spearmint herbal tea as well as spearmint and lemon herbal tea. And something you can do with these that I think works for me is if you want to pull those out of your box the night before, put them in some water in your Prolon bottle or whichever bottle it is that you're using and stick it in the fridge overnight. That'll give it a little bit of a chance to infuse. And that way you've got an herbal tea that you can sip throughout the entire day as opposed to just maybe having it with lunch or dinner. For me, I kind of liked that, just having a little bit more flavor throughout the day. So if that sounds like you, go ahead and try that as well. Next up on snacks, we've got our olives with a touch of sea salt. These were great last time, so I'm excited about those. Also got our almond and kale crackers. And another thing I did last time was I crunched these up a little bit in some of my soups. Just helps add a little bit of texture, a little bit of crunch, a little bit of flavor. Kind of made the soup a little more enjoyable for me, so that might be something to check out as well. You can also add up to a certain amount of seasoning per day. Prolon will talk a little bit more about that in some of the emails that they send out before you do your actual fast. But things like red pepper flakes or basil, something like that, just to add a little bit more flavor can sometimes really make the difference in terms of if you're able to keep going and push through this. Next up, we've got 2 of their proprietary nut-based bars. These are their L bars. We've got 2 of these for snacks over the course of today. And last but not least, we've got the proprietary cocoa crisp bar. So a little bit of a dessert bar for after dinner maybe. And it's important to note that with things like the cocoa crisp bar, your L bars, really any of your snacks that you're going to be eating throughout the day, same thing with your soups. You want to keep those boxes together. You don't want to mix and match. Or maybe you grab your L bar from today and you eat it tomorrow. You got to eat everything that's in your box that day. They don't want you kind of pushing. They've designed it so that the nutrients are in order for each box. Same with the calories. So for the goals and for the overall working of the program, you want to make sure that you keep your box ingredients together for each day. Now, I will check in a little bit later with you guys. I'll try some of the soup, some of the bars, some of the snacks, and I'll report back on kind of what I'm liking so far, how everything tastes, and I'll keep you guys updated. Welcome back to Prolon Day 1. It is the evening, so I wanted to go through a few things that I ate today. Some I really liked, some I didn't like as much, so let's get into it. Started out the day with a cup of tea, my supplements, and the L bar. Now, I'm a tea person normally, so that's great for me. Now, if you're more of a coffee person, you are allowed to have a cup of coffee each day on Prolon, so enjoy that if it's gonna make your day better. On the L bar, I really loved the texture of it. The flavor, not so much. It was a smidge acidic for me. I don't think this is something that I would eat on an ongoing basis normally, but for the next 5 days, I'm sure I can manage it, no problem. Moving on to lunchtime, I had the carrot and the onion soup. I also had the olives with it, as well as the supplements. I did elect to keep the kale crackers for a little later in the day, so I'll talk about those in a minute. Now, the carrot and the ginger soup was not my favorite, maybe a 6 out of 10 for me. I thought it was a little bland, so I elected to add some additional seasonings and some salt. You are allowed to do that on Prolon. So I did add those and I thought that made it quite a bit better. I did also add a little extra water to thin it out. I thought it just was a little thick for my liking. When it comes to preparing the soup, just a couple little tips here. You're gonna want to pour your soup mix into your water as opposed to your water into your soup mix. Just mixes up a little better that way. If you've got a whisk, that will really help you get any lumps and clumps out. If you're gonna cook it straight on your stove, then just put it in your pot and cook away. If you're gonna do it in your microwave, however, I would absolutely tell you need to put a piece of plastic wrap on top because it does have a tendency to boil over. And just take it from me, you don't wanna mess in your microwave, just put a piece of plastic wrap on there and you'll be safe. Moving on to the afternoon, I had my second L bar of the day. Again, same review as before. I had that also with another cup of tea. Moving on to dinner time, I did the roasted red pepper soup with onion. And like I said, I saved those kale crackers just to crumble in there and add a little bit of extra texture like I told you guys about earlier today. I thought it was actually pretty great. That was my favorite soup of the day by far. I would give that one maybe an 8 out of 10. I still did add a little bit of salt just to kind of just bring things up a little bit more. But overall, I thought it was pretty great. I did save a couple of the kale crackers here. I wanted to show you guys what these looked like. So you can see in here, they've got all kinds of seeds and nuts. They're actually really quite tasty and pretty good crumbled up in your soup. So I'm gonna munch on those here in a little bit. Last thing I had for today was the Cocoa Crunch Bar. And so this to me, again, not my most favorite, but still not bad at the end of the day. It tastes almost like a little bit of maybe a stale marshmallow with a little bit of chocolate in there. It's not the best thing ever, but it actually is pretty tasty if you stop and think about it. So at the end of the day, if you really just want a sweet little bite for something that's relatively healthy, hard to complain. So that's it for today. I'm excited for day 2. I'm feeling really good at the end of day 1. I'm not hungry at all or anything like that. So far so good. And I'll unbox day 2 in the morning and show you guys what we have for that. So I'm excited.